in the Mother Goddess civilization, there are two things about their world that's very different from our world, okay? So the first major difference, and this is really important for you guys to remember, is they understood that mind led to matter. Mind leads to matter. But in our world, we believe that it's matter that led to mind. Okay, do you understand? So in science class, you're taught we have a brain, then the brain, because of synaptic connections, creates the mind. Okay, so it's matter that leads to mind. Even though we're taught this, if you think about it, it actually doesn't make any sense. Because how does our small little brain, how is it able to do so much processing, which is the mind, right? How are we able to imagine? How are we able to dream? It's really confusing for us. And quite honestly, if you talk to the very best neuroscientists in the world, their response will always be, don't ask this question. Okay? It's never like, we don't know. It's always like, don't ask this question. Okay? This question is forbidden to ask in neuroscience. But so throughout most of human history, we believe that it was mind that led to matter. That it's the mind that creates the brain in order to understand the world. Okay? That makes a lot more sense than matter leads to mind. Okay? So that's the first major difference. Throughout most of human history, most societies believe that it was the mind that creates the brain. The second major difference is that this is a metaphorical world. In other words, they spoke using metaphors. They understood the world through metaphors. Today we live in a literal world. Okay? What's the difference? Well, the difference is this. Let's just say that you and I fight. Well, we would say that, okay, what happened was that I became angry, the emotion overwhelmed me, and then I hit him. Then he got angry, then he hit me back. Okay, this is a literal interpretation. But back then, the metaphorical understanding was that anger is a god who seized me and who propelled me into the fight. And then anger unleashed the god of vengeance, who fought back by seizing the other person to fight me back. Okay? So we believed for most of human history that we were controlled by forces outside our control. Now, today, you may believe that the literal world makes more sense. But if you think about it from the perspective of human thought, okay? How do you understand the world? How do you interpret what goes on in the world? The metaphorical understanding is actually much more useful. And that's why, and I know this is hard for you guys to understand, back then, they were much more creative than we are today, okay? And also, the things that they were able to do are beyond our imagination. So for example, we've never really figured out how the Egyptians created the pyramids, okay? For our explanation is aliens did it because their mind is beyond our imagination, okay? So that shows you the switch. Now when we go to the polytheistic world, this system still continues, but they add more elements to make it more complex, okay? So the first element is they believe that we are controlled by gods. We are the playthings of gods. Now, what's really important to understand is that these gods, Zeus, Apollo, Ares, they're no different from mortals. The only difference is they just live forever, okay? So, for example, if you're a king, what do you like to do? Well, you like to go around and chase young girls around, okay? What does Zeus do all day? What does Apollo do all day? These gods, all they do is go around and chase young girls around. Okay, so there's absolutely no difference. Above the gods are the older gods, fortune, fate. So the belief was that even though these are gods, they're still controlled by forces beyond their understanding like fortune and fate. What mattered in this world was not to be good. What mattered in this world is to be lucky, okay? To be fortunate, because that showed you that the gods favored you. And the last element, the most important element, is the unwritten and immutable laws of the universe, okay? So a concept like justice. So think of gravity, how gravity gives structure to the universe, right? Well, back then they believed the same thing where at the most fundamental level, there were concepts that existed like justice. And if you could have the favor of the gods and you could be very lucky, but if you did things that were unjust, then eventually you'd be punished for it because you're breaking the structure of the universe, okay? So this was the polytheistic worldview. Now, when you go to the monotheistic worldview, all this changes because now you have a new concept that never existed in human history before called one true God. And this changes everything, okay? Because before, as you can see, humans thought in a very complex, sophisticated, diverse, imaginative way about the world. But now, with the advent of Christianity, it's only one true God. And as such, you have three new concepts that become dominant in this world. These concepts have existed before, but now they're dominant. The first concept is the idea of truth, okay? If there's one true God, then there must be one truth to the universe. And so when we move towards the truth, that is good, right? But when we move away from the truth, that is evil. So now you have a new concept called evil that didn't really exist before, okay? You did good things because in this world, it was to your advantage. Now, in this world, if you defy God, that is evil, okay? And now with truth and evil, you have a new concept called the individual. Before in this world, what mattered was your family, your community, your society, the people around you. Now, with the advent of one true God, the community, the family doesn't matter. What matters is your loyalty, your faith in the one true God. So you can actually step outside your community and just do what you believe is right, as long as you have faith in the one true God. All right? Okay. So these three concepts, truth, evil, individual, are important for you to remember because they underpin modernity. These three concepts, once they grow to a certain extent, they will create modernity, the world we live in. Okay? Our world is controlled by these three forces. Now, what's important for us to understand is these three concepts are beyond the human intuition. You cannot logically, by yourself, deduce or come up with these three concepts. This world of the mother goddess, it's intuitive, okay? This polytheistic world is also intuitive, but the Christian world now is counterintuitive, okay? So as a result, for monotheism to triumph, because it is so counterintuitive, it must now destroy the polytheistic world, okay? So the Romans spent a lot of time, taking centuries and centuries to destroy the polytheistic world. But the thing is this, you can never ever kill an idea. The idea, if it is being suppressed, just goes underground, okay? So remember, here in the Mother God civilization, the main instrument of religious worship are fertility cults run by women. Well, now that war has come and men have taken over from women, what happened is that the woman went underground to create new religious organizations called mystery schools. And mystery schools, what they're trying to do is they're trying to maintain the best knowledge and traditions of the mother goddess civilization, okay? Especially the fact that we come from the mind. We created the universe through our imagination, okay? That's the main secret that they're trying to maintain. These mystery schools become extremely popular among the elite because they offer great sex, okay? The elite join these mystery clubs as sex clubs, basically. Remember, in this civilization, what matters is the womb. So they develop all sorts of like secret sexual techniques to please the woman, to make the woman feel as though she's in harmony with the universe. In this world, the mother goddess, sex is a mechanism to communicate with the universe, to discover the secrets of the universe. And so they maintain these rituals in the mystery schools. And the most powerful people will participate in these mystery schools. They're called mystery schools not because they're secret, but because everyone is sworn to secrecy. So if you ever divulge what actually goes on in these mystery schools, you'll be punished by death, okay? You'll be executed by the members. But with the advent of Christianity, these mystery schools now are a threat to the empire, okay? Because these mystery schools are where the elite, the local elite, hang out. So now what happens is, now they become secret societies. That's where they come from. Secret societies are an attempt to maintain the secrets of the universe against the advent of Christianity and empire. And secret societies have been around for a long, long time. You may have heard of certain secret societies like the Knights Templars, Rosicrucians, the Illuminati, the Freemasons, okay? They're all very powerful. They're still around. Yes, I understand that. But what I'm saying is there are a lot more secret societies that we do not know about and who've been around for much longer, okay? But they're all trying to maintain the secret of the universe, which is that mind leads to matter. That's the great secret of the universe. And this is something that we've always believed and always known, but with the advent of Christianity, this has become suppressed over time.